3 at 3. 3 at 3 every business day. We try to deliver unusual option activity. And we will delve a little deeper today as well into some of the meme stocks that are showing up on the heat seeker as well. So let's get to it, shall we? The disclaimer says that all investments involve risk and that you need to understand we are presenting this not as investment advice, but instead as educational and informational material that you can then decide how you'd like to apply it. Our intellectual property is that we have trademarks, registered marks, patents, copyright on virtually everything you're about to see. So please, to keep the lawyers happy, ask us before you choose to redistribute this. All right, let's talk a little bit about GameStop. I pulled this one up about an hour ago from our heat seeker. As you see there, these are all from the 10th, which is today. And early on, some of the activity that we were citing was the 800s, which many of you have also followed. I'm sure if you follow options, you can't help but notice $200 stock with people buying the 800 strike calls that expire on Friday. Anyway, yeah, they bought 35,000 of those early on, even more of those now. And then you see the 300 calls, 30,000 of those. The next week, 800 calls, 21,000 of those, because the first ones you see, the 35,000, that is calls that expire this Friday. So just 2 days hence. The others are calls that expire the following Friday. And then you see 400s, 350s, 500s, all that sort of stuff. I just wanted to sort of whet your appetite with that and then show you that, as I said, as we were doing the halftime report with Brad Gerstner from Altimeter Capital. Hello, Brad. Nice job, sir. I was talking about the 250, 300, which is a spread that I put on Monday, and where that spread went, because, of course, there was a trading halt with the stock at 330 or something like that. All of a sudden started falling fast, broke through 300, and then they halted it because there are circuit breakers, as they're known, which kick in whenever a stock makes a move of a certain percentage in a certain prescribed period of time. You have to shut it down, give cooler heads time to prevail. Now, that works both ways, by the way, upside and down. But in particular, that circuit breaker, of course, kicked into the downside. Then, as the stock traded all the way down through 200 on the reopen, then it went back and we had a circuit breaker to the upside because we were moving up too fast. Anyway, you get the idea. So what I wanted to show here was that the 250, 300 spread that expires this week on Friday had shifted down from my entry Monday. It was just under 9. I think it was 875, maybe it was 825, something like that, under $9 for a 50-point spread. And they were buying a ton of upside calls, which doesn't always mean that that's the ones that you're going to play, but I played these, the 250s, which were at that time significantly out of the money, and then sold the 300s and did that spread 1-to-1 for give or take $8.75. That spread went over $30 as the stock traded over 300. Why would that be? Because, of course, even though it's not expiration, if we were to hold over 300, that spread goes to $50, the differential between the two strikes. So as you see here, the spread had shrunk back down to about, what is it there? About somewhere in the $19 range, because you see 39 for the one option and 20 for the other, roughly 18 to 19 bucks in that range you could probably get done. And look at the volume, again, at that 300 strike, which has since gone all the way to that 35,000 that I showed you on the prior slide, this one. But look at that, 18,000 calls on the far right of the bottom of that screen, those 300s. Those are the 300s, I'm sorry, not the 800s. So one of the spreads that I would consider if I were a betting man and betting that maybe all that upside speculation means that they could squeeze higher yet again, a spread to take advantage of that might be something like the following: a call spread, also known as a calendar or time spread. For every one of those March 350 calls that I buy, I would sell one of those March 12th expiration 350 calls. I could put that on for $32. As you might say to yourself, why would I do that? I could just buy those March 12th 350s. Yeah, and then you've got 2 days for that to work. And if it doesn't, you're out $13, almost $14 if you see some of those trades there. So owning the one for 46 and selling the other for 13 or 14 bucks means that you'd spend approximately $32 on such a spread. And once these Marches expire in 2 days, unless they are in the money, they are going to go out worthless. And hopefully your March 350s are still worth more than the $32, and you can start pounding some other calls against that. That's one way to play. We have a bunch of other ways, but we want to get to 3 at 3 as well. I also wanted to show you one that Pete did yesterday when he was talking about Tesla, because he was on the show, and as you see, we were noting unusual option activity when the stock was $614 a share, 4,500 of the March 685s. Well, those went deep in the money. As you see, the bottom there is my comments today on our blog that I had those calls that I added to my existing Tesla holdings, and the stock traded to 717 today. So again, expiring options, you got to be very careful, folks, when you're in the final 2 weeks, let alone the final month or so of the option's life, because time decay is so fierce. So for that reason, I am quick to act when I have a winner or a loser, quite frankly. And since this one was a winner, I took off this extra exposure that I put on for Tesla. And I think the stock is still 660 or something like that, roughly the same price it was, I think, when Pete was quoting it yesterday, perhaps, on the halftime. And, by the way, we have a daily Crypto Bites show where we talk about the Doge of the day, which is our altcoin of the day. And we talk about crypto. It's about a 15-minute show with Matt and CJ. You see both those gentlemen there. They've got a great crypto room where they've got charts. They've got back and forth conversation about Bitcoin and at least 50, 60 other coins that people are active in. And that show is sponsored by Voyager, the crypto broker based in Canada. And you can try the crypto trading room for $1. $1 for the first month is all we ask. Then if you don't like it, no harm. See you later. If you do like it, it's $29 after that first month. I think you should check it out and see whether or not some of the advice from 2 crypto experts, and then me, can help you out at all. AMD, I wanted to point this one out as well before we get into the 3 at 3, because they announced yesterday they're going to be hosting a digital launch event for their latest server chip. Obviously, AMD's been winning in this server chip space. That's why Intel had been upside down for so long. We had unusual activity in Advanced Micro just 5 days ago, which was last Friday. With they were buying in the money 75 calls. Stock pushed all the way to almost 80, pulled back to 77 or thereabouts. Watch this one. I pointed out for you because of the unusual activity and the fact that they announced yesterday they're going to be hosting that digital launch. There's a look as the stock traded to almost 80 from yesterday to today, and then is roughly 78 bucks as of the time of that slide. Now let's get into today's 3 at 3. First one is going to be DraftKings. Yeah, DraftKings was my pick on CNBC as one of my unusual activities and as my final trade. Why final trade? I'll show you. I already own DraftKings. I bought more and I rolled up In fact, if you followed my Twitter account, you know I rolled up to the 67s and sold the 71s for about $1.20 earlier today as the stock made this very nice pop. And here's the activity that first got us interested again today. Number one, that top one is the 12th of March 68 calls. That's really tight. That's an option that expires in just days. So you got to be quick on this. 1.2 million share equivalent, big trade. They bought those for 84 cents. So that's about $1 million that they put on the table to say, I think it goes higher by Friday. Actually went higher today, in fact. And the other one was why I made it my final trade, because they bought 10,000, which is another million shares of the August 90s and paid $5.75. Every option is for 100 shares. That's 575 per option, which means this is a $5.75 million trade. Somebody betting the stock goes a lot higher between now and August. And apparently they think there's some sort of time critical reason for that thinking. So watch that. There's DraftKings as it moves up to 70 today. That's right. Take a look at where it was last Friday, 55. As you see there, 3.5 at the bottom of the screen in the middle, and then you see it today pushing to 70. Bang! I'd also encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. There you would get Pete's The Take, the Daily Crypto Bite. You'd get my 3 at 3. You'd also get a great interview that I did on the podcast this week with Martin Ford, a big action star who's in Fast and Furious 9, F9 as it's known. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel by just going to YouTube, typing in Market Rebellion, and then hitting subscribe. Encourage you to do it. It's completely free. And then you'll know when any of our new videos are posting. If you click that little bell, they'll alert you. Let's talk about the Energy Select Spider, shall we? As our second of our 3 at 3, Energy Select Spider. They're in here buying with, they bought it up about 1%. As you see there, 56 cents, the XLE. That was when I did it on the halftime report. And there was the trigger for us, about the same price, XLE, 32,500. That's 3.25 million share equivalent, folks. That's a big trade. 3.25 million times $142. That's a big trade. You get the idea. Somebody dropped about $5 million like that on a bullish energy trade. So there we are with our diamond hands. Oh, diamond hands. Love that from my buddies over at Wall Street Bets. Energy Select Spider moved up about $1 because when we noted it was 52.51. When I was on the halftime, 52.68. And there you see 53.36, 53.42. Looks like it wants to break much higher. So I'm holding it with those diamond hands right now. I have a 1-to-1 call spread in there, and I'm loving it. Next one, VNOM. Take a look at this, VNOM. Obviously, traders tend to take those acronyms and turn it into, whatever it seems closest to, like in this case, VNOM. It's an energy play also. Bullish call buying, $16.13. They bought 4,300 of the April 18s. I bought a lower strike, sold the upper strike. I did that 1-to-1 because that way I can cut into time decay and volatility compression. V for volatility, T for theta, and time decay. And there's Viper Energy moving up and at 1609. Like the trade, Viper Energy Partners LP, VNOM. And just a quick teaser, we have early bird pricing on our conference out in Las Vegas. That conference, October 1st and 2nd. Check it out. That conference will be sold out. If you want an early bird, you can have that until Friday at midnight. You save $400 on the ticket. Think what you could spend that $400 on out in Vegas. Bottle service over at Hakkasan, over at Live. Check out all of the things you could spend $400 on in Vegas. I'm sure you guys can imagine a lot. You can save $400 for the conference by signing up Friday by midnight. All right, let's get to questions. Palantir. Hey, Palantir, unusual activity. Tinfoil Joe. And Tinfoil Joe's handle is at JOSEPHBEDIKIAN. So he sounds like a fellow Armenian, does he not? Well, let's take a look, Tinfoil Joe. Palantir, unusual activity? You bet. In fact, we had unusual call buying in here when it was $21 stock a week ago. And they bought 14,000 June 26th calls. I like that, and I want to hold on to that. And here's where Palantir has gone since, Joe. Take a look. There it is from when it was $21 stock last Friday to today as it pushes 25.01, been as high as 26 already today. Bang. Is that Kathy Woods in there buying? Might be. Check it out. PLTR, yes, Joe, I like it. GameStop, GME. Where does GameStop go from here? What's the play now? I think the play now is time spreads. Calendar spreads like the one I described, Ali. And Ali's handle is at SIMBA 786. That's Simba 786. All right, where does it go from here? Probably goes higher, probably breaks a couple times again too. And they're trying to get those diamond hands going, trying to let me hold on tight, hold the line. Will they be able to? It's going to be tough, but they're going to try. And that's pretty obvious from our scans on social media that they're trying hard to hold it here. They exploded in the social media with those stops that I talked about, those trading halts today, and they got one of their own to the upside as well. So we'll have to keep our eye on it. You already know I'd like to do time spreads. Either one-to-one calendar spread or a diagonal spread is what I would favor. Zynga. Are you still in Zynga calls? I'm seeing some volume in the March 1050s. Yes, still have Zynga, still like Zynga, looking for more upside in the gaming company. And maybe the fact that we've got Roblox coming out, maybe we get a little more focus on some of these gamers anyway. Lastly, AP asks, and that handle is at ruthless_AP. When someone exercises their options, does that count as volume? No, it does not. It will show up the next day as stock in their account. If they're long a call, it'll be long stock. If they're long a put, it will be a sale or short stock hitting their account, long stock hitting the other side. But no, it will not count as volume that day. It will show up as stock in their account the next day. Thank you, AP. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Got to cut out now, and I look forward to being back here with you tomorrow. Thank you. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you on halftime, and I'll see you at 3 at 3, as well as, of course, the 60-second workout video and Crypto Bites. Just can't get enough of me, right? See you tomorrow, folks.